Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Just had a little bit of a fire in the woods had to deal with. Not too bad, but it's pretty warm out today right now. It kicked up temperature quite a bit. I mean, it was like in the upper 30s or something overnight, and now we're almost at 80, so a big temperature difference. But you know, that's how it goes around. I guess I could roll the window up so you don't hear tons of wind noise. I have a theory, and maybe I could be completely wrong. I'm not right all the time or anything close to that. But I have a theory of what's going on with the whole Iran, Israel, United States thing. Maybe. So right now, in the last 24 hours or so, 48 hours, 24 hours, there's a big uptick in talk and on the news about how the United States, the Trump administration, averted a war between Israel and Iran, that Israel was planning on making a big old strike against Iran, and the United States, Trump administration stopped it, said let's first try diplomatic measures. Let's try this first. And so the Trump administration is being hailed as the peacemakers and things like that. But if you listen to the words that they're not saying that it's not going to happen. They're saying that, they want to at least try the negotiations stuff first. And I have a theory that what we're seeing is something play out, and that it probably means that we are headed to a war with Iran, unless by some chance Iran backs down, which doesn't look like that. Russia has over and over reiterated that they're standing by Iran. The Prince Saudi Arabia went and met with the Kalamani, whatever his name is, of Iran, and there looks to be a pretty decent coalition supporting Iran. So what I suspect is going on is we're watching a good cop, bad cop play out. That we're watching Israel play the bad cop and the United States play the good cop. And it would make sense because everybody already knows that Israel wants to bomb Iran. They've been saying that for years that they want to. So that would not be any kind of a surprise to the world. And the United States, Trump administration, is trying to play the good cop. Oh, well, we really don't want to go in and attack you. We really don't want to bomb you. We want you to, denuclearize and all this kind of stuff, which Iran says they're not doing it. And I think that this is all being done so that they're setting the stage so that when the United States and when Israel make strikes against Iran, that they'll be able to say, hey, we tried, we did everything we could, and it just didn't work. Now, I could be wrong. Iran could eventually step up to the plate and back down. But that would be a death blow for them. I explained that a week or so ago. That would pretty much be a death blow. Iran is looked at as like kind of the top Muslim, Islamic country right now in the Middle East. It has been. And if they do this, then they've basically neutered themselves. And so I don't really think that that's going to happen. They're kind of put in a bind. They back down at this point, then they've kind of lost all of their strength. And the only way they could back down and keep from getting bombed, according to what the Trump administration is saying, is to stop their nuclear production and all that kind of stuff, which doesn't look like it's happening. The International whatever nuclear agency has said that they're just a very, very short time, days, that they could have a nuclear weapon very shortly, that they're that close to developing it. And so I think, my gut tells me, that we are headed towards a pretty large conflict with Iran. You add with what's going on with China, and that there is a very heated trade war happening there with, it's getting more than just, tariffs and things like that. It's getting quite serious. That, excuse me, been sucking up smoke for a while. always takes me a while to clean out my nose and my throat and everything after work a wildfire. All the stuff that's going on there, we're headed for a very strong potential for very bad things happening. And I think Iran is very key. It always has been. It's key in global political affairs. It's key in the biblical stories. And I really think that we should be paying attention to what's happening there and getting ready, because if this kicks off, the war kicks off with Iran and what's happening with China, and then what's happening with Russia up in Ukraine, and all this other stuff, it could cause things to kind of tip over the edge. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying it could strongly cause that. The tensions between, China and us with trade, and with Taiwan, and then Ukraine and Russia, and all this other stuff, it could cause things to kind of tip over pretty quickly. And we need to be ready for that. We need to be ready for a very large war, the potential for a large war that could dramatically change things. I know what a lot of people are saying. Well, we could kick Iran's hind end. Well, we didn't kick the Taliban's hind end, and they didn't have nearly the level of technology and weapons and military that Iran does. And I'm not saying Iran is a bunch of, the best of the best, but the Iranians they're a very well-developed nation. They have a lot of very top scientists. They're very technologically developed. They have who knows how much bombs and missiles and all that kind of stuff. So I think it would be a harder war than what a lot of people think to win. And then if we go into a multi-front war, then we can't handle that. We can't do that. We can't be fighting Russia and China and Iran and North Korea and all these other places all at the same time. So anyways, my point is, as I'm just rambling, because I know that's what I'm doing, is that there is a story being played out. And we need to be kind of paying attention and getting ready for it. Because with all the tariff stuff going on, we're already talking about inflation going up. There's most definitely going to be supply chain issues because of the tariffs. They were saying that there's already something like $20 billion in goods just in the last 30 days that normally is imported that they canceled because of the tariffs. And you could say, oh, I don't want to buy that junk anymore anyways. Well, you don't know what it is. It could be things that could actually be important to you. Now he's looking at tariffs on medications, and the vast majority of those come from overseas. So just like I've been saying, this morning's video and the video yesterday and everything, that to me it's irrelevant at this point whether or not you agree with what's going on. You may really like what's happening. You may be all for it and all that kind of stuff. Even if that's the case, you still need to buckle up. You need to get serious and get ready, because hard times are coming. It's going to be painful, and I think it's going to be painful than most any person realizes, especially if we truly are in those biblical times. We need to get ready and start stocking up and start revisiting your plans and understanding of what it might mean to have to cut things off, to cut people off, to go in defense mode, to hunker down, violence, money, disease. All of these things are certainly on the table, and we need to seriously pay attention to things, because I think that this Iran thing could possibly be pretty significant, and I think we're watching a little narrative play out with what we're seeing in the news and being talked about online, social media. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying I think it's being done for a specific purpose, and we should be prepared for that. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.